Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open the blueprint of a sales video that just works. We're going to get into the psychology of it, frame by frame, to really figure out what makes someone go from just watching to actually clicking that buy button. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to look at this through the lens of the classic hero's journey. It's the perfect framework, really, to see how this ad takes a customer all the way from, I have a problem, to here's my credit card. You know, every great story has to start somewhere, right? With a hero in their ordinary world. And in the world of marketing, that ordinary world is all about a really relatable, really frustrating problem that the viewer knows all too well. So the ad just comes right out of the gate with this killer hook. And it's not just a random statement, you know? It's like holding up a mirror to the audience. It immediately creates this connection, this feeling of, hey, I get that. That's me. So why does this work so well? I mean, it's brilliant. It taps right into that nagging frustration, that cycle of, oh, I'll just start in January. And boom, right away the person watching feels totally seen, totally understood. And look at how they do this. The strategy is to get the visuals and the words working together perfectly. You see the woman looking frustrated, and you hear about motivation fading. It just drives home that feeling of being stuck on this treadmill year after year. Okay, so once they've perfectly nailed that feeling of frustration, the whole narrative just pivots on a dime. They introduce this little glimmer of hope. The product becomes the guide, the mentor that's going to help our hero step out of that old world and into a new one. And you have to pay attention to the words they use here. The naming and positioning is so smart. It's not just a workout plan, it's a blueprint. Now, that word choice is totally on purpose. A blueprint sounds tested, it sounds reliable, it's designed to quiet that little voice in your head that says, yeah, but will it work for me? And right away, you can feel the shift in the language. They start using words like lean, sculpted, and confident. These are powerhouse words. They're all about aspiration and empowerment. And that's the pivot right there, from the pain of the problem to the promise of what's possible. All right, let's get into the real meat of the offer and see how they build this out. Because, you know, every hero needs a map, a plan to get through the tough stuff. And what's clever here is how the program's features are presented not as these huge obstacles, but as a super clear, totally manageable path forward. This is exactly it. The so-called tests of the journey, they're broken down into these simple, bite-sized steps. An 8-week system, just 30 to 40 minutes a day. Suddenly, the program feels like a helpful friend, not some scary, intimidating challenge. And the viewer's thinking, you know what? I can actually do that. Now, this next part is absolutely crucial. It takes a huge potential objection, that fear of getting totally exhausted or burning out, and just tackles it head on. It's promising big results, but with a balanced, sustainable approach. And for someone who's stuck in that start and stop cycle, that is music to their ears. Of course, a hero's journey is kind of pointless if there's no reward at the end, right? And the strategy here is so smart. They don't just focus on the physical changes. No, they go deeper. They're all about the emotional transformation that comes with it. And look at this contrast. It's just so powerful. You're visually seeing the shift from frustration to pride, from slumped shoulders to a confident posture. It makes that reward feel so tangible, so real. The message couldn't be clearer. You're not just buying a workout program. You're buying a feeling. You're buying confidence. This next line, honestly, it's a masterstroke of reframing. Think about it. So often, exercise is positioned as a punishment for what you ate. But this just flips the script completely. It positions the whole thing as an act of self-care, of empowerment. And that is a way more powerful motivator than plain old guilt. Okay, so at this point, our hero has seen the path. She's seen the amazing reward waiting at the end. She is ready to go. So the strategy moves into the close. And it's this simple, really compelling sequence that's designed to remove any last-minute hesitation and just get her to make a decision right now. First thing they do is anchor the value. They state the original price. This sets a benchmark in the viewer's mind. So now, $60 is the real value of this program. That number is now stuck in their head. And then, bam, the offer hits. That visual contrast between the $60 they just saw and this new lower price, it makes the decision feel like a total no-brainer. It's not just a purchase, it's a smart move, an opportunity you can't miss. And the whole thing wraps up with this super direct call to action. And this is just brilliant. It circles all the way back to the very first problem they mentioned, procrastination, and gives you the immediate solution. Stop waiting. The urgency is there, but it feels encouraging, not pushy. So, when you put it all together, what's the big takeaway? It's how all these individual pieces create this seamless story, this complete narrative arc. It's really a masterclass in how to guide someone from a place of feeling stuck and frustrated to a place of feeling empowered and ready to act. And this whole blueprint, it's not just for a fitness program. This is a masterclass in how to persuade with a story. So the real question to leave you with is, how can you take this same hero's journey framework and use it to tell a way more compelling story for your own brand, your own project, whatever it is you're working on?